This week's primaries will also reveal more about Donald Trump's hold on the Republican Party. And voters in South Carolina will soon decide if they're going to re-elect one of the few Republicans who voted to impeach President Trump after the January 6th insurrection. Five-term Congressman Tom Rice is in a heated race for the GOP nomination, and our chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl traveled to South Carolina for an exclusive interview ahead of the vote.
I'm Tom Rice. I'm your congressman.
Tom Rice is one of the few Republicans who stood up to Donald Trump after January 6th. Now he is fighting for his political life in the heart of Trump country.
Is you the guy voted to impeach Trump?
I am, yes, sir, yes, sir.
You done wrong there, buddy.
I'm not sorry for my vote. I think I did the right thing.
He faces the wrath of Donald Trump, the former president even coming to his South Carolina district to campaign against him.
Tom Rice, a disaster.
Rice, one of the architects of Trump's tax cuts, had been one of his most reliable supporters in Congress. But after January 6th, he was just one of 10 Republicans to vote to impeach him.
You surprised almost everybody when you came out and voted in favor of impeachment.
It wasn't that hard. I mean, when I thought about what had happened and the president's activity or inactivity that day, when he sat there and he put his own vice president's life and the vice president's wife and daughter's life at risk of people shouting, "Hang Mike Pence." When he watched the Capitol, the People's House, being sacked. When he watched the Capitol police officers being beaten for 3 or 4 hours and lifted not one finger to stop it. The more I read about that and the more I learned about it, it was clear to me what I had to do. I was livid. I'm livid today about it. I took an oath to protect the Constitution, and I did it then, and I would do it again tomorrow.
How many of your House Republican colleagues believe exactly what you just said, privately?
I think more than you might imagine.
There's no way you could support him for president again.
No. There's one way.
Yeah.
If he apologized.
So if he came out and said, "I'm sorry," I mean, all that
If he
goes
came out
on.
and said, "I'm sorry that I made a huge mistake on January 6th," then I might consider it.
What will it mean for the Republican Party if he runs again?
I think it will hurt us.
He has kept a low profile since that vote. Rice says he has turned down some 200 interviews, but he knows his impeachment vote may cost him his seat in Congress.
Trump came to your district not long ago.
Yeah, he did.
And said some terrible things about you. He said you were a disaster.
And now Tom Rice looks like a total fool.
What's that like when the most prominent Republican in the land comes to your district? I mean, he's not out there campaigning in a bunch of districts. He came to your backyard.
You know, I said
said you're a disaster.
I said it at the time, but you know, if I am a disaster
Yeah.
and a total fool, and I voted with him 169 out of 180 times, what does that make him, right? I mean, I'm taking his lead.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I said at the time, he's a narcissist, and he's driven by attention, and he's driven by revenge.
Why are you such an outlier then on your willingness to stand up to Donald Trump? I mean, why are there so few Republicans like you?
It's really interesting to hear people call me a rhino.
Republican in name only, when you have a
yeah.
voting record that is more conservative than...
Right, and absolutely, defending the Constitution is a bedrock of the Republican platform, right? Defend the Constitution, and that's what I did. That was the conservative vote. But
impeachment was the conservative vote.
Absolutely, it was the conservative vote. There's no question in my mind.
Rice says he is disappointed Republican leader Kevin McCarthy embraced Trump after January 6th.
If the Republicans win back the House, do you think McCarthy should be Speaker?
I'm not going to answer that one right now. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And what about Liz Cheney?
I think she'd be a great Speaker.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think she's a real Republican. I think she is very conservative, and I think she's a fearless leader.
He hopes voters will focus on more than one vote to impeach.
But you may now lose your seat.
Well, I hope that I don't. I'm so proud of what I've gotten done for my district.
If you lose, is it going to be worth it?
Sure, it'll be worth it. Absolutely.
Your obituary, the first sentence is going to be Tom Rice, who was a Republican member of Congress and voted to impeach Donald Trump.
So be it. I'll wear it like a badge. So be it.
Primaries are coming up next week. Thanks to John Karl for that. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.